G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Not in my car anymore, back home at my house. And we're one day away from our last Steelers game. First of all, what a quite a wild and crazy time it's been this year for our Steelers. Who would have thought that we'd have Mason Rudolph going to the playoffs with no middle linebackers, Eric Rowe, Peterson playing safety, and Broderick Jones playing right tackle. Do you know what I mean? And that's only a few things that's been happening with our team. And Mike Tomlin, whether you like him or dislike him, or you want him fired, or you want him coaching for the next 10 years, Mike Tomlin again has given the Steelers a chance at the playoffs. And also, whether you like the way it's happened or not happened, the Steelers have another chance at the playoffs with a few things need to go our way. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to say thank you to everyone who's been on a wild ride this season. And whether or not it ends in the next few days, we'll try and do a recap of 2023, the season. And Steelers can win tomorrow and have a chance the following day for a team or two to lose, and we make the playoffs. The Steelers can also lose tomorrow and the following day have a chance. If two teams lose, then we make the playoffs. But you need to finish strong. This team has been running well the last few weeks with Nji Harris. There was 1 week there. There was 1 week there when I thought I'm a Nji guy. I was supporting him as best I could, and there was 1 week where I thought, it felt like he didn't have it. You know, it just felt like something was off. Might have been the Colts game. I was like, something feels off. And then 2 weeks later, just runs out there and absolutely stonewalls. And I'm in stonewalls last week. The bloke, he pushed a bloke for like near 8 seconds on a stiff arm. Warren's going crazy, getting his yards in the 1-2 punch. Nji getting pushed over in a scrum. I remember yelling at that out a few times, going scrum, scrum, scrum. So this team is playing good football in the running game, and it's awesome to see with our O-line too. But for a small moment before the Seattle game, or even the Bengals game too, I think it was the Colts game, I was like, Nji, is he our guy? But I think he is. And here's a picture why that I think Nji could be a true Steeler, and maybe they might offer him a contract. I don't know with the RB. The RB contracts now, it feels like that if you're a first rounder, second rounder, the RB contracts last about 4 or 5 years, and that's it. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, I saw this, and that's in the future. I saw this on, I think it was Facebook. I think it was Kyle Brandt talked about it when he was asked about giving a photo of himself, via winning angry runs. And Nji tweeted back or sent back a picture of his O-line and TEs. That to me is true Steeler mentality. Facts, 1000%. He didn't send a picture of himself. He sent back a picture of his O-line. So there was 1 week I was like, maybe Warren should be number one. I was kind of like questioning it. And then you have a game like that where Nji is carrying 4 or 5 blokes on him and moving the ruck, and the guys are pushing for TDs. He stretched out for the football and got a touchdown. I was like, Nji's on one. When things get colder and he runs hard and gets a 4.5 yards, 5 yards, he is really hard to stop. So that was awesome to see from Nji Harris to send the offensive line and pretty much even the practice squad guys in there. Every single guy from the offensive line or tight ends are pictured in that, because things we don't see as well as guys in practice, day in, day out, doing their best work and getting players ready for the game too. So I thought that was really cool that Nji sent that. Now, also, we had a lot of drama this week, of course, after every win. Had a lot of drama with the Mark Madden stuff. I talked about that. Wasn't a huge fan. I got a few kickbacks in the comments, and you guys can have your opinion if you want to. But to me, to be very honest, Mark Madden is a troll, professional troll. All he wants to do is spark that kind of argument. And a lot of fans fell for it, saying, well, I believe Mark Madden over Kenny Pickett. Not me. I believe Kenny Pickett over Mark Madden. Because if it was such an issue, then Kenny Pickett wouldn't be suiting up at quarterback number 2 this week. You've got Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and Trubisky will be QB3. And speaking of the quarterbacks too, I feel like there has been this division. Of course, there's always division within our team. George Pickens, Deontay, Warren versus Harris, or whoever it may be. But you got to give some respect out there. Even if you weren't the biggest Mason Rudolph fan, the last few weeks have been a lot of fun. And it's now for the Mason Rudolph train. He's 1-2, going for 3. We're versing the Ravens, I'm pretty sure, this week. Yeah, we're versing Ravens. The Steelers have beaten the Ravens 6 out of 7 times. They would have beaten them 7 times in a row if Trubisky didn't mess that game up and throw 3 picks a few years ago. So we've beaten them 6 out of 7 times. Rudolph is getting the love and support from his team, as he should be. Has a chance now to be quarterback 1, at least for the remainder of the season, and maybe playoffs too. So if the Steelers do make playoffs, then I expect them to keep going with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett to be backup, and that's okay. And we can start to have the debate now if you want to, but I kind of seem it very pointless to talk about Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. Just go with what is happening, and what is happening right now is Mason Rudolph being quarterback. So tomorrow when you guys wake up to this in the morning, we're cheering on Rudolph to get us a chance to the playoffs. And it is a good story to watch too. It's a great story. Other good news too, I've got a few more things I want to talk about. Other good news is we did see Miles Killebrew, TJ Watt, and Minka go to the Pro Bowl. The only one surprise I thought was Minka. Killebrew, yes, dead set. He had 2 punt blocks this year, plays key role in teams. He stepped up as well in certain plays now for the defense. TJ Watt, Pro Bowler, and sidetrack. TJ Watt needs to win Defensive Player of the Year. They're still talking about Myles Garrett. They're still talking about Micah Parsons. And TJ Watt has much better stats than those blokes. So I don't know what Pro Football Focus is talking about, but they're now having favored Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett, which makes no sense to me. Don't know why maybe because we're not a playoff team, but there's no real traction around TJ Watt being Defensive Player of the Year. He's like 3rd or 4th favorite to win, and he has better stats than both of them. So that's something else we can be angry about in the next few weeks if they choose someone else besides TJ Watt. Now, he did get Pro Bowl, so he deserves that. But yeah, Minka was a shock to me. Not saying that Minka's a bad player. We just haven't seen Minka play that much football. He's been injured a fair bit. But at the same time as well, the Pro Bowl is around fan voting. I don't really care about the Pro Bowl anymore. I used to back in the day when it meant something, when it was like players deciding and coaches. But now fan voting has a high majority of it. And also the media analysts, I think they just choose favorites, right? They choose good players, but it's not the same as it used to be. And also the Pro Bowl isn't the same way of football. Who was that bloke, Sean Taylor, when he knocked out the punter? That to me is the Pro Bowl. When he ran down, the punter was going to fake and knocked him off his socks. That is football, but we can't see hits like that. And speaking of hits like that, Kazi is still being ejected until the end of the year. He comes back and we have a chance for the playoffs, right? Steelers versus Ravens tomorrow. Our team, I believe this game, Rudolph got to be smart, be safe. Don't throw too many turnovers. I think he's doing a good job working with GP. You guys might have saw the, I think, sideline audio with Mike Tomlin and GP, how they went for it. I think it was like a 3rd down or something like that. They got a 1st down, could have run the ball, and they started to win the game. Take shots like that, be smart. But Rudolph is doing that. He's definitely doing that, and he's not turning the ball over, and he's getting TDs here, there, and everywhere. Now, I do want to get into there's a long video. I want to start to finish with some playoff. Playoff. I read Steelers clinching scenarios. I said playoff. Claypool, Steelers clinching scenarios, right? By the way, if you like this stuff, if you enjoy my Steelers content, hit that sub, hit that like, write a comment. What was your favorite moment of the year? All that kind of stuff. I have been working a lot recently. That's why I probably sound a bit tired, because I've been doing a lot of yelling in my coaching, in my pickleball. But if you like this stuff where a bloke in his room is just talking Steelers, wearing a blue shirt, Normally, I should be wearing a gold shirt. But if you like this stuff, hit the like, hit the sub, and comment and all those kind of Steelers things. Because in the off season, we're not going to stop. I will be trying to get guests on. I'll be doing more Steelers talk. We'll be doing draft talk. However, not until about March. I'm not doing draft talk. If we lose tomorrow and we lose the next day and we're out of the playoffs in 2 days' time, no, I'm not doing draft talk 3 days after we lose. The season's done. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Any draft talk I do will probably be around March. Maybe what should the Steelers do in terms of positioning? But I'd say around March because it's just too much. To me, it's way too much. You have January with all the playoffs. You have February with all the Super Bowl. Then you have all of February. Then you have all of March. Then you have April, which is like mid-April, the draft. You have 2.5 months of draft talk. So speaking of draft, let's get back to the playoffs. We have a chance to win the playoffs, okay? Here's how the Steelers do it. Steelers have to, if they want the 6th seed, they've got to win. Buffalo's got to lose, and the Jags got to lose. And the other one is the 7th seed, the Steelers got to win, or one of has to happen. Buffalo loses or Jags lose. If we lose, if the Raiders lose, wait a minute. Yes, if the Steelers lose and the Raiders lose and the Jaguars lose and the Colts and Texans don't tie, even with a loss, the Pittsburgh Steelers still have a chance to go to the playoffs, right? And I know there'll be some people out there saying, well, we don't deserve to go to the playoffs. You tell that to Cameron Hayward. You ring up TJ Watt. Don't tell me. Ring up TJ Watt, get his number, and if we lose and still make the playoffs, you ring him up and say, hey, TJ Watt, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. Don't worry about me. Don't tell me. You tell TJ Watt. You tell Minka. You tell Kazi coming back. You tell Warren. You tell Nji. You tell the coaches. If we lose and everything goes our way and we still make the playoffs, and people are like, oh, there's no point being in the playoffs. We're going to lose. We're going to get smashed. You ring up one of the Steelers and you tell them, or you send them an email, or you tweet them, because they still want to play. These guys play and train to win. You play to win the game, Herm Edwards. So those are the playoff scenarios. I think the most likely one, to be honest, is probably winning the 7th seed. And I think Buffalo might lose to the Dolphins because the Dolphins as well is playing for the divisional, the AFC, was it South? No, AFC East division. So that if Buffalo loses and we win, we get 7th seed. Jaguars can lose too, though, because Mike Vrabel went off the other day, and I think one of the commentators said it's going to be a meaningless game. What are your thoughts about Mike Vrabel? And he pretty much told him to F off. He said, F off. We want to play to win. The Titans have been eliminated. They can't do anything, but they're playing for pride, and they want to make sure the Jaguars can't make it. So there could be a good chance that the Jags are also being eliminated too. I'm not even sure if Trevor Lawrence is back. So you have, imagine that. Imagine if the Steelers win. Buffalo, if the Jags lose, then we're in. Then we've got to watch to see if the Buffalo loses too to get 6th seed. So tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream, Steelers versus Ravens. And then the next day after, your Sunday, if you guys make it this far, I will be doing the stream, hopefully, Jags versus Titans at my 5 a.m. We might as well have a crack and watch some football and see if we can get in. If the Jags lose, we're in. Then, if I have time, I might do the Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills. And if Dolphins win, we either get the 6th seed, or if the Jags win, then we have to wait and see for the Buffalo Bills to lose. So those are the scenarios. But at this point, all I really want to do, I'm super proud of my team. I don't care if, there's Mike Tomlin haters out there saying 9-7 is not good enough. We need to do better. It's what you can't change nothing, right? All you can do right now is win this game, go 10-7. It's 2 years from the Big Ben era. They tried Kenny Pickett, they tried Trubisky, it didn't work for 3 games. They will move on from him next year. Mason Rudolph is now, I guess, the savior, and see what happens with him for the next 3 games and a playoff run. If he can get the job done in Baltimore and win this game, then see what happens, right? but I'm super proud of this team for how people have stepped up. Michael Walker, Miles Jack came back. You've had good play from Keanu Benton in the middle. You've had good play from Darnell Washington. Hasn't caught too many balls, but he's going to be a good blocker. You've had good play from Warren and Nji. The 1-2 punch has been working out all year. We haven't really seen a third down and running back at all run the ball, I don't think. Maybe McFarland read it once, maybe, right? Had moving pieces on the defense. You've had JPJ step up and take on receivers like DK Metcalf or Odell Beckham Jr. or whoever like that, right? Those kind of dudes. Or he might be out tomorrow. But those kind of like number one receivers. You've had people step up. And this team is at the point where, yes, maybe we should have beaten the Pats. Maybe we should have beaten the Cardinals. At the same time, though, you can't go back and change it. It happened. And we're at the point now. Go and beat Baltimore, sweep them, go 5-1 in the division, finish with a 10-7 record, and see what happens. If we lose tomorrow, it's going to suck. We've got to wait and see to happen with the results being Raiders going to lose and Jags going to lose. If we win tomorrow, though, however, still got to wait and see if the Jags or Dolphins lose. But at least we finish on a good note. And a lot of fans didn't really have us being a Super Bowl contender anyway. A lot of fans still don't have us being a Super Bowl contender because they want Mike Tomlin fired. We got rid of Matt Canada. That 3-year period looked like a real bad move by the organization. So they've got to get out of their own way for that example. Next year, they've got to find an OC. Next year, they've got to find maybe some talent at center. Mason Cole, he's doing okay in the run game, but the snaps are just ridiculous. They're way too high. You've seen some highlights too from Nick Herbig. He got a sack last week and he had 2 snaps. So there's been some good things. I know people say, we want a Super Bowl. All I want to see, I just want a Super Bowl. That's all I want. I look at the little things and try and follow player storylines as well. I think Nji had a pretty good year. Warren's had a good year. DJ has bounced back. GP has had a good year. Yes, there's been a bit of drama here and there. But overall, I think he's a fired-up young bloke who wants to go out there, catch footballs, and get TDs. And now it looks like Mason Rudolph is finding him down the sidelines and big plays and getting him involved. Also, you have the 75-yard pass against, I don't know who that was. Was it the Bengals or Seahawks? Someone like that. A few weeks ago, I might have been was it against the Bengals? I don't know who it was. Let me know in the comments. I think it was against the Bengals. So this team has been all over the shop. It's been a rocky road and wild roller coaster. Same time, we love our Steelers. We love our black and gold. And we're going to cheer them on to be Steelers versus Ravens tomorrow, get the victory, and then hopefully the other teams start to lose. Buffalo loses, Jags lose, and then we're in. Then once you're in the dance, you never know what's going to happen.